guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Squid Game, the challenge. You know, the reality TV show. And, you know, I already watched 1 through 5, but I want to talk about episodes 6 through 9 that just came out this past Wednesday. And let's get right into the video. So, with that being said, we left off on they got to get into pairs to have a little picnic. And in doing so, they picked their partner for the marbles challenge. So, everybody essentially picked their bestie to be in the challenge, or you know, whoever they were very close with, and then essentially one of them is going to make it out after the marbles challenge. But also I don't know if the guy who was the odd guy out, because there were 63 people first, so that meant one person out. So I don't know if he went home like by forfeit or if he still continued on, because you know, he didn't have a partner to play marbles. So I don't know about him. But let's get to the marbles game. The highlight of the marbles game is that, you know, we have player 399 and player 65. And, you know, player 399 said, you know, she doesn't want to throw the marbles. So she's trying to, like, you know, have like some compromises that what they can do. Player 65 is like, no, I'm not doing anything that's without throwing, da 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 da. So he's like wasting the time. He's not coming to a compromise. He said is either throwing or nothing. And player 399 is like, I don't really want to throw. I don't want to give it up to chance just by throwing something or whatever. So it's just like, I would rather do something else. With that being said, you know, they were at a stalemate. Nothing was being done. You know, 65 was stubborn. You know, 399, you know, they couldn't get through to 65, so they sat there until like 8 minutes left of the marbles game that they had, and they started like with like 2 minutes. I guess they had 2 minutes on the clock, and they started throwing it into a bucket. So they were throwing it into the bucket, and then until 399 made it into the bucket first. So then with like 10 seconds left, 65 made it into the bucket. And then they kept throwing, and then it was the end of the game. So they had to come up with a winner. So 65 was like, oh, he doesn't want to just give the game to 399 because 399 said, because I made the marble into the bucket first, then I should have won, because they have this equal amount of marbles in the bucket. So therefore there's 2 marbles in the bucket. So the only way to make it fair is that player 399 made it into the bucket first, while player 65 didn't. But he was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not just going to let you win.
How else we solve this?
I was the first to make it in.
I'm not doing that. Absolutely not.
Dylan!
You agreed for us to take shot. We took the same amount of shots and made the same amount.
But I was the first one to make it in. And I let you go first. Dude, come on. I feel like I have to see this. Sand? The time is up.
Why he couldn't come to a compromise, why he's just being stubborn. It just is what it is. They both got eliminated out of the game. The eliminations are so crazy because, like, you really think they're gone. Like, they just laying there, like, flat. They're down to 31 people who made it back. The mother-son duo, you know, mother got eliminated, so it was down to 301. So next challenge was that they had to pick a captain. And you know, TJ 182, he got them through the battleship. So therefore he's a captain. You know, he felt like, you know, he leads his team into safe hands. So almost everybody voted 182 to be captain. You know, be the leader, be the captain, whatever. Next thing you know, 286, I believe, was like, oh, I don't trust TJ. 287, was like, I don't think TJ is being real. Like, I think he's putting on a character. So, with that being said, I guess one person, a guy, I think 204, he's part of the Gumbo gang. he was like, I'm going to take 287 and 286 dislikes for TJ and, like, you know, build up an alliance, like, you know, get his numbers on his side, whatever. So essentially with them picking TJ to be the leader, to be, you know, the person as the captain of their team, he gets to the advantage to go straight into the next challenge. So, and then he gets to pick another person to join him. So he picked Mai. He picked 287, the same person who was dissing him, who was like, oh, no. And, you know, she couldn't believe it that he actually stood to his word. Like, he had her back for real. Like, that's his person continuing on into the game. And she was just, like, so in disbelief and, like, so grateful and happy because TJ single-handedly kept her into this game, like, literally. So then 287, before we even get to that, 287, player 19, player 18, or the person whose name is B, she decided to do, you know, a girls, you know, alliance. You know, there's only 9 girls left, so let's, you know, be all united, you know, against the 22 guys. So May was like calling all the girls loudly, like, oh, come over here, Jackie, come over here, let's go, let's, like, you know, there's only 9 of us here, so let's all stick together. So tell me why when 182 TJ picks Mai to be, you know, the second person, Mai was supposed to kind of continue on to ensure that all 9 girls, you know, get saved, because after the top 20, 11 people are getting eliminated if you didn't get picked. So Mai picks 286, so she kind of broke that. So player 19 was like, Amanda, she was just like, I don't think we should trust her. Like, you just showed your distrust because we were supposed to have a girl alliance and you kind of just messed it up. But at the end of the day, all the girls got into the top 20, which was great. With that being said, there's a top 20, so the next challenge was the bridge, you know, the glass bridge. So they had to pick these vests, and the vest was the order number that you're going to go on the glass bridge. If you're at the top of the numbers, like, you're going to go. You know, essentially, if this was like the real Squid Game show, if you were at the top of the number chart, you would have been donezo. But I think player 9 was the one who came up, or I think his name is Elliot. He came up with this thing like, okay, everybody has a once, you know, they can only do one spot, which is a 50-50 chance. So essentially, you only have to go one time, and then everybody else has to overtake and go after you. So you don't have to really lead the way. So with TJ hearing this, you know, TJ's like, okay, well, you kind of saved me because I don't have to lead the whole 20-person group all the way to the end. You know, I could just take one spot and then I'm good, and then somebody else will take the next spot and keep going. Because TJ, player 393, Jackie, she gave TJ the number 1 spot, and she was like, oh, she kind of like was like, oh, I don't know anybody else who'll be a leader to, you know, be the leader to lead us on or whatever, something like that. And I'm just like, bro, you really used his words and, you know, everybody's like, you know, camaraderie and whatever against him to be the number 1 spot. Because, you know, giving him the number 1 spot wasn't going to ensure him to get the money at all. The person who got number 20 was Mai. TJ had number 1, and then he picked the bear of number 20 on it, and he gave it to Mai. And I'm just like, once again, TJ saved Mai. Like, Mai could have been number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like one of those earlier numbers. And TJ once again saved Mai single-handedly, gave her the last spot, number 20, and ensured her safety because, you know, she's the last spot. She's going to be good. Yeah. So, here we on the glass bridge, TJ makes the first jump, and you're like, okay, let's see in the 50-50 chance if he's going to get the, you know, get the spot or not. He doesn't. He falls straight through the glass, and I'm just like, bro, we really lost TJ. Like, he really was a good player. So next was player 2, and player 2 also went through the glass. And then next was Trey. Trey was 301. 301 was leading the pack. You know, he was going through, and you know, he was only supposed to make one. He was only supposed to make one jump. And his one jump, I think Jackie was next in line to, you know, jump. But I think he was leading the pack a bit, like, because he did like 2 or 3 more jumps more than he had to, because everybody agreed, you know, everybody's gonna take one jump and everybody overtakes. But Ashley, who was number 5, who was the 5th person in the line, she was like, nah, I'm not about to, you know, I'm already a low number on the chart. I'm not gonna like sacrifice again. And like there's 4.56 million on the line.
Should be 1 each.
I'm confused as hell because I don't remember agreeing to this. I'm not sacrificing myself when I already have a low number.
So I understand why she didn't jump, because at the end of the day, it's an individual game. Only one person is winning. But they had just agreed that somebody's going to risk it and like help the team on to across the bridge. So therefore, she didn't move. So Jackie, she fell through the glass. And then Ashley, she didn't want to move. So Trey, he kept him going. And then I think after like his 3rd attempt of like getting it right, he fell through the glass. So that left Ashley, 278, who was 5th in line, you know, to be the leader of the group. You know, she's the person in the front, and she had to keep on going. So she was like, you know what, everybody's talking. It's like, you know, I thought we were supposed to be a team. I thought everybody's supposed to take, you know, one step and overtake or whatever. And at the end of the day, she did make a jump, and she made the right jump, and she got the right glass. She didn't fall through it. So she's like, you know what? I did the one for the team. You know, I finally did one. So now everybody else had to overtake. So, you know, like people fell through. Like only 8 people got eliminated in that glass challenge. And, you know, that left 12 players left. So with that being said, you know, 12 players left. You know, people were looking at Ashley, especially Mai, a little bit sideways, because it's just like, you know, you're supposed to be a team player and you didn't want to move. But at the end of the day, Ashley did move. If she was still stubborn like player 65 and didn't move at all, then maybe we could have like, okay, yeah, she wasn't a team player. But at the end of the day, she did jump and then ensured 12 players out of the top 20 to get along the bridge. Back into the dormitories. So they have another test. And another test was the die game. You have to roll a die, and if you land on a 6, you have the choice to eliminate. Either nominate yourself or you nominate somebody else. So Mai was first to eliminate because she had her hand up to be a leader. And, you know, people were kind of iffy about Mai, but, you know, player 286 and, you know, I think Roland and somebody else, you know, backed that decision to nominate Mai. So she became the leader, the captain, so she got to go first. So they had another teamwork move, was like, you know, to make it fair, just nominate yourself if you land on the 6, then nominating somebody else. But Mai was like, I worked too hard, I'm not going to nominate myself. So she decided to nominate 278, which is Ashley. So her decision to nominate Ashley was a bit wonky, because how are you going to nominate Ashley for not being a team player, but you're not being a team player because everybody agreed, quote unquote, to nominate yourself if you land on the 6. Essentially, when Mai rolled, she didn't land on the 6. She landed on a 4, so Ashley's safe. So your op is still in the game. Like, you try to take your op out and your op's still here. Like, come on, Mai. So in this die game, 3 people had to be eliminated, which was 286, which was Chad. Mai took it really hard. B lost because B was like, I roll 6s all the time. She's really good at backgammon. And it's just like, I don't think she's gonna not roll a 6. And then P, Parnu, he left too. So B, Parnu, and 286 left the game. So it went down to 9. 9 players out of 456. We're down to the final 9. So in this final 9, we finally get to the next challenge. But before that, 278 was like, I don't know why Mai picked me. I don't know why Mai picked me. Da 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 da. I can see right through Mai because I don't know why she picked me for, the selfish thing. At the end of the day, was Ashley wrong for not agree? Everybody agreed with the plan to let somebody overtake and da 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 da. Was Ashley wrong for not moving? She wasn't wrong for not moving, but just like everybody agreed to nominate yourself if you roll a 6, I feel like, but, that's where Ashley did something, not team-like. But then again, at the end of the day, she did jump and she did fulfill what she, agreed upon to do. I mean, that was after Trey was waiting for her to make the jump, though. Trey was, looking back like, you're not going to make the jump? You're not going to make the jump?
If it comes to me having to stand on one spot until y'all last move past me, and that's the best thing for me, that's what I'm going to do.
And she was just like, I'm not about to make a jump. Just chill out, chillax, and relax. She was like, somebody else can make a jump for me, but I'm not going to make the jump. And Trey made the jump, and he fell through. With that being said, we're down to the final 9. So there was a blindfold game, and you get a tap on the shoulder, and you have to guess, who put the box on your desk. And if you guess correctly, you're safe. If you don't, you get eliminated. So Mai goes first again, and she put it on Roland's desk. And, it was like a bit of strategy to pick your closest friend, because you wouldn't want to eliminate your friend, but your friend wouldn't guess that you wanted to eliminate them. But then again, it's a game of strategy. But you had 6 people who had to go home. So it was really if you had to make a right guess. And I guess the highlights from that game was when Elliot, 429, put the box on Mai's desk, and I guess he was a bit fidgety, and he was really making himself known that he put it on her desk. And Mai just figured him out, and he was just like, and she was like, yeah, you put it on my desk. So everybody was just like, oh, snap. Mai is really smart. She's really smart.
I think the player is (429) because he has been looking around with a guilty look.
Player 429. Ooh.
So nobody really tried to put anything on Mai's desk after that. Mai was safe. She went first already. She put on Roland. Roland went home. Elliot went home. So, and then 278 messed up because when 451 singled out both Rose and Ashley for not being as close with them, and he even said to 278 you're a good person, da 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 da. Why would you, for a second time, why when is your turn to put the box right on his desk for a second time? He already singled out the 2 people who probably would do it, and he just figured it out twice. He figured out Rose put it on his desk because I guess Rose just put it on a person that she didn't talk to, and that was 451. And then Ashley was like, you know what, I'm gonna put it on 451's desk. And he guessed both of them correctly, so he's still in the game. And then the last person was Haley, which 451 put on her desk. And I think he had a good poker face. Nobody knew it was him at all. And, because she was going to pick 16 or Mai, and she picked Mai, and it wasn't Mai, so she went home. So the top 3 players are player, 287, player 16, and player 451. And they're the top 3. And I feel like Mai's going to win this game. I really feel like Mai's going to win this game. And if it's not Mai, I'm going to give it to player 451 because 451 is pretty smart. But yeah, that was episodes 6 through 9 of Squid Game, and those are my, little thoughts and comments on what happened in the episodes. I feel like Mai is very strategic. She knows her stuff. She's been through a lot of situations to know her stuff. I feel like she's playing this game like somebody who would play this game. But even though a lot of people want to play Kumbaya or Civil or whatever, you got to understand this is kind of like $4.56 million on the line. So I can understand that, people would put like, okay, this is a lot of money to think about. And then it's like, okay, well, everybody said, let's play fairly, let's play civilly, like, let's not, get into backstabbing or whatever. But it is what it is. Mai did her thing. She did her strategy. I feel like the time and place for Mai to like try to eliminate 278 would have been the box game. She would have done that. Nobody would have known it was her. Nobody would have been like, okay, yeah, Mai has some type of situation with me. Nobody would have known it would have been her. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. She made her decision. She's in the final 3, so it paid off. It paid off somehow. But yeah, until the finale to see who's the winner, let's see. But anyway, guys, if you like the video, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.